want to over deliver on everything. Now the results is obviously you're obviously going to try and give her the best results, right? So that goes without saying. There will be that one event at some point. Me and Harry have had this like 5 times where we genuinely thought this is it. It can't get worse than this. It really is just like human, like male psychology. Like it is as simple as like thinking about how to get somebody from a state of not interested to they've just spent like $400 on an Onlyfans account, you know? After years of me and Harry doing this stuff, the only way how you can get over that plateau is by... This is an entirely free 1 hour plus group coaching call where you're about to watch me answer all of the questions from our paid community. So we have a free community with over 20,000 people where we teach the absolute basics and the fundamentals of OFM, which is by far one of the easiest business models online right now to make money. But then we also do have a high level, very, very exclusive inner circle with about 1,000 people in there. And in there, we do 2 group coaching calls every single week, and we have not missed a single one for the last 2 years. If you want to have access to it, again, you'll have all the links down below, but this is a free exclusive one recording that I'm going to put on YouTube. I've done 2 more in the past, I think in the last like year or 2, and they've gained tens of thousands of views. Now, if you wanted to, again, learn a little bit more, check out the links down below or message me on Instagram at Marcus Hustle. Other than that, enjoy this call. I'm excited for this, man. It's very interesting because a lot of you guys are in completely different stages. Some of you guys are just starting out, getting your first client. Some of you guys, like Andy over here, making 50 G's a month. So we'd love to see it. We'd love to see it. Okay, Ethan, unfortunately, we can't hear you, bro.
Can you hear me or no?
Hey, there we go. Yes. Yeah.
There we go, finally. So me and my business partner, I think he's in here as iPhone and he doesn't want to join.
Okay.
We've been in here for about a week now. We've been doing it for, I'd say, maybe 2 weeks. We've already signed one girl. Well, actually 2 clients. We're trying to get rid of one because the other one is pretty lazy. But yeah, so we've been in it for a week. We've already got 1 client or 1 model as such.
Yeah, wicked. Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. So awesome, boys. So now that we've got that out of the way and we know where everyone's at, let's start with Sebastian, and we'll go in again the same order. But this time I'll get a more in-depth insight on kind of what you think you're struggling with right now. And typically the best way for me to understand how I can help you first is by asking you a bunch of questions. And then once I really do think that I understand what you are potentially struggling with, I'll then give you advice, right? Cool, awesome. So yeah, Sebastian, if you want to start with yourself, what do you think that you could, have some help with the most?
I think the most at the moment is just traffic, generating traffic for a model that's brand new and that also doesn't have that big of a social presence. That would be my first one. I think my second one, regarding the pitch, you must have to basically sign higher tier models. I know that you discussed in the previous call the importance of having a good social profile on Instagram and kind of showing off your lifestyle in a way.
Sure.
But I was just curious to know more about what would be the right approach, just starting out and reaching out to new girls, basically.
Okay, so we can talk about the marketing side of things first.
Yeah.
So when it comes to marketing, I mean, there are a plethora of different ways of marketing your clients, right? I'm sure, have you had a chance to go through the course yet on the marketing side?
Yes. I can tell you what we're currently doing. And
sure.
So we started posting on Reddit. We asked to be verified in some of the main subreddits. I bought an aged account, and I don't know if that was the best idea because I've been banned in 3 subreddits, mostly because I think the moderators didn't like the fact that I posted in one of the OnlyFans subreddits.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. We're doing just 1 post per day in each subreddit. Right now, we're just posting on the unverified ones, but soon we will probably in like a couple of days, we'll also post on the verified ones. And we're doing Instagram, and we're going to start out TikTok. I ordered a SIM card, a US-based SIM card, so I can create the accounts for her in the US. And that's pretty much it. That's where we're currently at. I asked the model to create 1 reel per day. I'm giving her constant examples.
Yeah.
For the first 2 days, it's been good. Let's see how it goes moving forward. She's also
Sure.
created a lot of content for us in terms of sexting sets.
Yeah.
So we have 2 sexting sets at the moment and a lot of boudoir photo shoots that we are posting on Fansly.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all that we're doing right now in terms of marketing.
Okay. And by the way, is she like, does she have like a specific niche, or not yet?
Not really. I mean, we could try and put her into the BDSM niche, but it's more like a light BDSM. It
Yeah.
could potentially work. Oh, and we're also planning on starting out Twitter.
I was going to say that was the biggest one that's missing from everything that you listed. So Twitter is super fucking easy to go viral and get like thousands and thousands of followers. And especially if you're starting out, I'd recommend you having a free sublink from Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea with Twitter, in very, very simple terms, is you're basically either yourself or your virtual assistant is finding tweets that are currently going viral. So it can be about literally anything, as long as it's getting like millions of impressions, that tweet, and it's actively still going viral as we speak. And what you want to do is you want to go onto these pages who are posting these tweets that are going viral, and you would turn on post notifications. So then for next time, as soon as they post, you're going to get notified, or like your VA. And then as soon as they get notified that there's a new tweet, you then go into that tweet, and then whatever the text of that tweet is, or the subject of the tweet, you then want to comment underneath it with like a sexy picture of your client, right? Under her profile, obviously, or through her profile, I mean, with like a picture or a video that's like some sort of a tease, etc. And then the caption of the comment should be somewhat related to the tweet. And here's the trick. You want to do this hundreds of times a day. Like the more times you can do it, the better. Like we literally can do anywhere from 50 to, I think the most I've heard was 400 in one day from just one of our models. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like that is literally all you have to do. You can have like 200, 300, 400 of these accounts with notifications turned on. And then therefore, as soon as you refresh your Twitter, like every single minute, there's a new tweet, and you just go for it, you know? So that would be, and then once you understand how to do that yourself, you then create like a tutorial or like an SOP for a virtual assistant. You then hire a virtual assistant to literally just do that. That's all they have to do. And then make sure if once you're at that stage, you monitor them as well. You make sure that they're actually posting. You know, they can do a report, end of day report of how many comments they made.
Yeah, exactly the same question as Juan. Is there a maximum limit of comments that we can do?
You know, I personally haven't encountered like a maximum. I mean, looking as that they've done 400 in one day, I don't think there probably is one. I mean, I feel like the only time when you actually get some sort of an action ban is if you're literally copy and pasting and you're doing the same photo and you're doing that like 400 times or like, you know, like 50 times in 10 minutes or something like that. Because then clearly you're just spamming. Whereas we're genuinely not spamming. Sure, sometimes the photos and the videos will be reused, but the caption on the comment is different every time, and it's actually manually typed out. It's not copy and pasted.
So the content can be the same, the creative assets, so to speak, can be the same, but the copy needs to be different.
Correct. So I'll give you like a prime example, right? So this worked really well for us. I don't know how many of you guys, I mean, I think most of you guys will probably know of iShowSpeed, like this live streamer who basically he's just a guy who live streams, right? And he was traveling around Europe only like 2 months ago. And near enough every single day, like he would be getting like clips and he would be doing something controversial in like each city. And therefore Twitter, these big like news pages, they would be tweeting about him. And it would always be something that is done, right? In the city. And then our VAs would simply comment underneath it with a picture of our model. And then it can either be like, I'm from this town, Speed, come see me on my free link here, or something along those lines. So yeah, the idea is very, very simple. It's just you have to do it at scale. And some of the results that we've seen, let me see if I can really quickly get some of our results up. I'll just so you guys can see like how fucking effective this is. So you guys can see that, you know, we're not wasting time here. The other thing is that your model right now isn't niched of any sort of way. Is that right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing that you could look into. It would be, so here's the thing. niched models will always perform better in every aspect, both marketing and sales. However, the model genuinely has to like really get immersed into like this new role, right? So what I mean is, if you want your client to become like an e-girl, like Twitch live streaming kind of niche, she can't just post a picture of her and like her headphones like once and that's it. Like she really has to like dress like this, create short little videos like this all the time, and like really be immersed into this whole thing, right? Okay, you can see my screen, yeah? Cool. So this is in the last 28 days. And by the way, this is no big account. Like this isn't something where she already had like 500,000 or something. No. If I remember correctly, she only had like 12,000 followers. Which is easy to get to. So anyway, so this one account got 38 million impressions, basically 500,000 profile visits, 12.7 thousand new followers in just 28 days, 140,000 likes, 1 million video views. Anyway, but the most important one is the link clicks right here. The link clicks was 13.2 thousand. So from here on, you boys have obviously two options, right? You could either have the link as a paid link, so obviously as a normal paid subscription, or you do it as a free sub. Or I guess technically there is a third option, which is a free sub for the first like 3-4 days, and then after that they get they have to pay, right? So the strategy, like all the strategies work. Here's the thing, all of them will work. It really depends on one, your client, and two, how your team is set up. So if it's you by yourself and like you don't have any chatters, for example, there's no way you could have a free link and have 13.2 thousand people click on it. And out of those, let's just say 500 of them, probably more, actually far more than that. Yeah, far more than that, would become subscribers, right? Or fans, because you physically could not fucking handle all those messages. Now, if you do have, yeah, it's crazy, right? If you do have chatters set up, then fantastic. You can get away with posting a free link, so you draw the people in. But here's the key: you want to make sure that you've trained your chatters in such a way where they really build that connection with these fans as soon as they join. Because otherwise they won't stay. By the way, I hope you're enjoying this group coaching call so far. Again, just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, please make sure you leave a like on this video. And then secondly, you check out the links down below to our entirely free group. There's an entire free Discord community with over 20,000 people just like yourselves, just to get started. And then if you're ready, you can then further invest into the inner circle and be a part of all these incredible people. As you can see, they are from different walks of life. Some people are just starting out and some people are making tens of thousands of dollars every single month. It is insane. So anyway, click the links down below and leave a like. Thank you so much. Here's kind of going on a side tangent here, but very important that you must remember that the fans, most cases, like 80 to 90% of the time, they're not just joining your model's OnlyFans. Like they are most likely simping for fucking dozens of girls, if not hundreds of girls. So there has to be a reason for this fan to come back and spend money, let alone even to talk to your model. Does that make sense?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to the account creation process, do we have to use proxies? And how do we go about when we're hiring a team member to do the process for us?
Is this about creating a Twitter account?
For Twitter, just for Twitter.
Sure. So the model, to be honest, Twitter isn't very geo-based. That's what we've found. So you know how like with TikTok and Instagram, yes, like if she creates it and she's in Slovakia, then yeah, she'll most likely attract like Eastern European fans. But with Twitter, it's not the same, is what we've found. But here's the thing, like I don't think we've taken on a model in probably over a year that hasn't already had Twitter. So most of them already will have it. So don't worry about it. Just get the login details from them.
Yeah, but mine hasn't, so.
Some of them, in rare cases, they don't. But cool. Okay, awesome, Sebastian. And we'll move on to the next person then. On my screen, Rollins, you're next, bro.
So yeah, I have a question. The question is about like Twitter and no, not the Twitter, about the Instagram and TikTok marketing. Because right now I have like with two models, I have like very good going on, and but with one model before talking that we chose it like a cosplayer niche. when I talked with you like 2 weeks ago in meeting, and yeah, and right now, but yeah, but numbers not going viral with her in the that two traffic platforms. So yeah, I want to ask how do I need to take like a new account? Need to make or what? Because like we worked like 5 days. We warmed up account for the 3 days also. The views wasn't that good that I wanted that I needed to see. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
really struggling to with that to traffic sources.
So, by the way, just because I didn't hear you, is this TikTok or Instagram?
Both.
Okay, both. Are you having the same issue on both of them? So both of them are not going viral.
Yeah.
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 Okay. And how long have you been doing it for? For 2 weeks, I think you said.
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
Okay. And these are brand new accounts. You created brand new accounts, one on Instagram, one on TikTok. Okay. And for 3 days, you said you warmed it up. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you say you warmed it up, what did you do for those 3 days?
I was like scrolling for the 10 minutes each day. Yeah, that basically it.
Okay. That's it. You didn't like anything, follow anybody, leave any comments.
No.
Okay. So this, I wouldn't say this is like, here's the thing, like with social media platforms, it's never like a very, this is exactly what's happened. I can only give you what I think would most likely be the reasons. So first things first, it could be the fact that you didn't warm it up properly. Now giving it like 3 days where you're scrolling through the account is better than nothing, for sure. That's better than nothing. But the way we do it, at least anyway, whenever we do need to create like a sub account on TikTok or Instagram, is for 7 days. So for 1 week, what we'll do is we'll log in and then we'll scroll. We'll follow like 3 or 4 people a day at least. We'll leave a like on a few of their posts and we'll leave a few comments as well. And here's one little piece of advice again I need to give as well. So when I say we like, a bunch of their photos and videos, what we don't do is we don't just like quickly go into their profile and just move, 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 move. Like you gotta like interact with it like a real person. So like open a photo, zoom in, zoom out, leave a comment, swipe away, then like it. Scroll, go into this one, leave a like, scroll, go into this one, leave a comment, I'll go out like, and then have a look at some of their Instagram highlights, for example, if this is Instagram and so on. So the point being here that you want to try and make it seem as realistic as possible. And the second thing is for 7 days, not 3. Okay, but that's the first thing. I'm not saying that this is exactly the reason, but this could be one thing. Okay, next. So you've been posting now for like a week and a half, right? How many times are you posting per day?
Right now I'm posting like three. One is morning, one is lunch, and one is at dinner time.
Okay, that's fine. And these are unique pieces of content, right? These are not like re-uploads from an old account.
No.
Okay, cool. They've been edited off of TikTok, I'm assuming. They haven't been edited on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many views are they getting?
The best one got, I think, like 300 views.
From an account that had 0 followers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, last question. None of them are getting like 0 views, right?
No.
Okay, cool. I think that's fine, bro. I don't think you really have an issue here, bro. Does your client, she must obviously have her main accounts, right? These are like sub accounts.
Now we created like three different accounts at the start, like for the both of the platforms. Yeah, like all of them are like I can say like mainly, but we are posting like in all accounts like different content because she can deliver content all day because she is not busy at all.
Okay.
But
So
we are not still getting like the right views from them. Like I get and I can say like in the past 2 weeks, I get from the TikTok and the Instagram, got like it's can say 5 subs. But I have like a virtual assistant and the Reddit and X and all going good. But yeah, I
it's
need
just
to think.
TikTok and Instagram. Yeah. Okay. So she doesn't have like a big Instagram or TikTok other than these. These are the only accounts that she has, right? That she wants to promote OF. Okay. So by the way, first things first, I don't see any red flags that your account is like fucked, right? I feel that sounds like it's doing fine. in some instances, you will get an account that gets like 5,000 views, 10,000 views. Like you've just created it and you get like 5,000 views. In some instances, it does happen, but in most cases, it's like from 0 brand new accounts, you're going to get something between like 50 to 150 views. Then the odd one might get like 300 views, right? Like 3x, and so on and so on. And then you slowly get like 10 followers, then 100, then 200, then 400, then 1,000, and so on. So anyway, I feel like that sounds fine. The only time when there is a red flag is if you're telling me that you were averaging 300 views, like on average, and then now you're getting 5, like consistently, or worse of 0. Then obviously your account has been like shadow banned or anything along those lines. So yeah, that sounds like it's fine. My piece of advice I can give you, if I remember correctly, Rollins, it was yourself that was making around 20K a month, right, with your agency?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm assuming then you have either one big model or a couple of big clients or fairly large clients that have like a decent online following, right?
Yeah, I have like one model have like 223K followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what you can do. First of all, you can just straight up ask them if she's cool with you to share that, share your this client to her story. She might just say yeah, and she might just say that's completely fine. If she says like no, she's not doing that, then you could simply either, pay her, or you just basically take a small cut out of your invoice next time you're going to invoice her. Because at the end of the day, it's not really coming out of your pocket. She's going to pay you the money that you made anyway. It's just you're technically giving her like $500 back, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that would be your best bet, because otherwise, to be honest, $500 is far too much. But like for one Instagram shout out, by the way, but you get what I'm trying to say. So that could be your second option, just to boost her Instagram and TikTok. Leverage your other clients, leverage your other models, and yes, tell them that you can give them a small discount for next week's invoice or anything along those lines. Other than that, there honestly doesn't. Yeah, the good news is that I don't hear that there's any like big red flag. I don't think your account is ruined or anything of that nature. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. Any other questions, by the way, Rollins?
No, thank you.
Awesome. Cool, bro. Enzo, you're next.
Yes, bro. Yeah, so just from what you were saying before about obviously going through everything with everybody. Yeah, obviously I've been in it 3 months now, and yeah, it's been obviously the course is, bro, like the course is well worth like your money. Like the course has been unbelievable. The group calls for me, the group calls every 2 days, and the one on the Sunday just are the one that really takes it to the other level and how you learn so much. But yeah, so at the moment I've got 3 models on and stuff. I've been through my fair share of a few. I've signed a few creators, and I've kind of found my feet, found which ones work for me, which ones are, on my level to scale. And then obviously I've catered it back to 3. 2 of them are converting quite well. The others a bit here and there. I did let go of one last week, just because she was one of my first creators, bro. And like, obviously with like your first creator and like your first couple of like you're learning at the same time. And I was kind of, and she was also pretty much like brand new, but she had a lot of followers from around her area and she was making decent money. But I was kind of teaching her the OnlyFans game while I was learning myself as well.
Yep.
Like, and yeah, and obviously, and it was stressful at the time, because I was telling her to take the content, I was telling her to do this, you can, you can convert well, this, that, and she weren't really listening. So I thought, no, I'd rather take like, one step back to go two steps forward. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I've just signed up quite a big creator on Tuesday. I missed a group call because I had a call with her on the Tuesday. She's got a big Instagram. She's not making a lot of money, but she's quite a big creator in like the network and the scene, and knows a lot of people who do it. So yeah, I took her on, and yeah, I started on.
Just a little heads up, by the way, Enzo, and for everybody that's listening and watching. This is, first of all, congratulations, because you're at the stage now where you're able to like take people off of your team or your roster, because it's just not worth your time, energy, and effort, right? But the reason why I stopped you is because these clients that you're talking about here, they come about every once in a little while, where they might not be making like the 150K a month. However, they have been about in the adult industry for maybe a couple of years, and they know a lot of girls who do OnlyFans who are making 150K a month. Like they might be very good friends, or they maybe collab before, like a few years ago, whatever it might be. Now, we've encountered this so many times. And what you want to go ahead and do, bro, is you want to over deliver on everything. Now the results is obviously you're obviously going to try and give it the best results, right? So that goes without saying. What I'm talking about here is more about the onboarding, the attention to detail, the how much you care about, like has she got all of her questions answered, just making sure, yeah, you over deliver. Yes, Andre, for referrals, because what you want to make sure you do is you blow her away with her expectations. So she'll be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to partner with this Enzo guy. I'm going to try it out and see how it goes. Little does she know, like this is about to be the best experience of her life with an agency ever, 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 right? So yes. So the reason why I stopped you is because I want you to pay close attention to how much you're going to try and over deliver on this one. So yeah, anyway, carry on, bro. But very good so far from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, well, it's actually really funny that you just did say that, because last night I made about $450, $500 for her in her first night. And I just got a text in the morning saying, wow, what an amazing start. I'll send girls your way as soon as possible. So that was a really good message to wake up to, you know, knowing that she has a big network and she's hopefully going to send me some referrals and stuff. But yeah, that's like the status update of where I'm at the moment. So just like the questions and stuff, I could maybe, I mean, I kind of, you know, give myself a bit of leeway, because with the traffic side of things, I was waiting for one of the models to put all of her content in a Google Drive, which I didn't have at the moment. And I'm still waiting for her Google Drive because she's out on holiday at the moment and stuff. So I'm kind of got my hands tied there, but I just feel like I could, yeah, maybe be doing it a little bit more with the traffic side of things. And you know, I mean, like everybody else, like, you know, once you've got a few creators, you kind of slack a little bit on the outreach. And I have been slacking like over the past like 2 days or 3 days of not doing loads of outreach because of all the other workload that I've got to you know, take on. So yeah, just your advice on that.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I mean, you've said it yourself, brother. I preach this on like every group coaching call, which is the fact that you should always, always, always keep doing outreach. And here's why, right? I've said this so many times, but it is so true. So it is far easier for you to get to 100K a month. When I say you, as in you personally, yourself making 100 grand a month, it is far easier for you to get there by working with a client that's at maybe 1,000. This is when you're just starting out, obviously, right? Working with a client that's at 1,000, you get her to 3,000 a month. Okay, amazing, cool. Now you keep doing outreach, and you sign on a model that's making 3,000 a month, and you scale her to maybe 7,000, and you keep doing that. So then 7,000 to 15, from 15 to 30, from 30, and you get the idea, right, boys? And but you keep doing outreach, and you keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger clients. Before you know it, you're dealing with clients who are already making 50, 60, 70,000 a month before even joining your agency, right? Now, little caveat, or not even a little one, this is a very important thing. And I say this on every single coaching call. What I am not saying is that your aim of the game is just to keep doing outreach, sign on a client, do a piss poor job, whatever, get rid of her, go on to the next one, a bigger one, right? And do the same thing and ruin their accounts and move on to the next one. No, like I'm literally saying the opposite. You want to take on a client, you want to scale her to an extent, right? As much as you can, but inevitably this just does happen for a lot of clients. They plateau at a certain extent. They just do. It just happens. Like I wish I could fucking have a magical wand and make that disappear, but some clients they have that. So if that's the case, instead of what a lot of people do wrong is they think about, okay, but like I've got this one client, I've got her to 23,000 a month. Like there must be something that I can do, right? And after years of me and Harry doing this stuff, the only way how you can get over that plateau is by paying. And what I mean by paying is by doing paid promo. So reinvesting a lot of your money back into GGs, promos from like Telegram, from other big theme pages, other big creators like OFTV, but then you obviously need a video crew, you need a distribution, you need editors. So the point I'm trying to make is you need to reinvest a lot of money, right? And yeah, sure, you can get her through that plateau of 23K to maybe 50K, but if it's costed you 10 grand to increase her income by 15K, you get what I'm trying to say, right? It's not really worth it. Because at the end of the day, we're all running a business here. This is not a charity. So Anyway, so to go back to the initial point that you said yourself when you gave yourself the answer, right, which is you slacked a bit of outreach. So this is why, boys, you must carry on doing outreach. Now, you absolutely will get to the stage where you have money coming in, you have 2, 3, 4, 5 clients, everything's going good, and you're like, oh, well, I've got this money coming in. I can't be bothered to do an outreach. Or not even can't be bothered. It's like you're physically so busy managing these clients. Well, this is the point where I'm pretty sure the conversation I'm about to have with Lucas, which I'm very excited about, is where you need to start hiring people, right? I think for a lot of you guys, you don't have any staff members right now, which is when you're starting out completely fine. Like that's normal in every business. But once you get to a stage where like there are too many things moving and everything is trying to take your attention and energy, and you physically can't, that's when you hire people. Like people always ask me that question of like, when is the right time? It's never a time frame, and it's also not really an income thing, right? But it's more of a when you physically feel like you have to do this, then do this, and then do that consistently in order to make more money, but you can't do one of them. That's when you have to hire people, right? And most of the time, this is one of the first hires, right, Enzo? It's either a model scout, so somebody who will do outreach on behalf of you and try and get you models, or it's somebody obviously who does the chatting. The chatting typically comes first. That's typically the first hire. Then it's the model scouts. So somebody who will do the outreach. You will still do the calls. Even to this date, me and Harry do a lot of calls with big clients. If they're making like less than 50K a month, then, or less than 30K a month, really, then me and Harry don't do the calls. But for most of them, me and Harry still do the calls. And then after that comes a model manager. So first there's a chatter, then there's a model scout who finds the models, and then it's a model manager. Model manager is basically just you, who's going to talk in between the chatters, the model, making sure they're all fine. When you sign on a new client, he or she does the onboarding, make sure they have access to all the login. Like this is literally when the whole fucking business is basically running for you, right? And by the way, obviously there's multiple chatters and they'll have a manager as well. So yeah. So to give you the advice, I know I've said quite a lot here, Enzo, but to sum it up, brother, again, like I said right at the beginning, is you said it yourself, which is to carry on doing the outreach, keeping your pipelines full. If you're finding it that you're very, very busy, then you must find somebody to do it for you. You must hire somebody to do the outreach for you. If you want to find a place where to find them, we actually reinstated our free Discord, by the way, guys. So we have an entire free Discord with nearly 20,000 people in there who are in the beginning stages of doing OFM, right? Who are starting out. You could most definitely find somebody from there. Just giving you a heads up, by the way, obviously be very careful on who, if you are going to find somebody from there, on who you take on. Don't take on somebody with entrepreneurial traits, which is going to be like 90% of the people in there. When I say entrepreneurial traits, like if you ask them, like, hey, bro, like, what do you want to do in like in a year from now? Like, where do you want to be? Yeah, bro, like, I want to run my own agency. Like, obviously, you're not going to hire that person because they're just going to snake you, right? But believe me, believe it or not, there is actually a lot of people in that Discord who don't actually want to run their own business. They just like the idea of OFM or the idea of making money online, and then much rather just partner with somebody who's already successful. So yeah, you can find somebody from there, Facebook groups and I guess there are Telegram groups as well, but I don't know about them. I'm not in any of them. So that would be my advice for you, Enzo. Everything else sounds like it's going fantastic, bro. Sounds like it's going very, very well.
Yeah, thank you very much, bro. Yeah, well, that's it from me. Thank you for your advice. Nice speaking to you. Yeah, thank you.
I'll say one more thing for you, brother. I can't. What the fuck? It's 10:54 already. It's been like 54 minutes. I can't believe that. It feels like it's only been like 10. But anyway, one more thing I'll say to you, bro, about the referrals, and you have the one model who's obviously who knows a lot of other clients. So yeah, when it comes to referrals, again, I've said this before, but the time when you want to ask them for the referral is after you've delivered something very, very good. So straight away, you just mentioned once there that she texted you saying how amazing the first night was. Now, obviously, that's way too early to ask for a referral, but if that was like 3 weeks from now, boom, that's when you do it, right? And let me tell you in a second how you do it as well. But first piece of advice about referrals is you only ask it after you've done something very good and you've exceeded their expectations. Only then ask. Otherwise, it's a complete waste of time. And it'll actually backfire sometimes. But anyway, now that's when you ask. Now, how do you ask? So what everybody fucking does is just go, hey, by the way, do you like it through the DMs? Hey, by the way, do you know any other models? And would, I'm sure you're happy with our services. If you could refer them, that would be great. And then some people say like, oh, I'll even pay you. But here's the thing, boys, right? If everybody does it, it's not effective, right? So you got to think outside the box. So what you want to do, because you boys are all smart and you're a part of this coaching program, what you want to do is once the model is very happy with the results that you just delivered, you say, hey, let's jump on a quick catch-up call. I'm free. Let's just jump on a quick Zoom call. I'm free later tonight at 7 p.m. Does that work for you? We can just go over everything, and blah, blah, blah. Just basically get them on a Zoom call. Simple, right? Cool. You get them on a Zoom call. And then you do actually catch up. You go over what's good, what's bad. Maybe she wants you to improve anything, but make sure you end that conversation on a good note, on the positive thing that she's just had, right? So maybe you made a record month or a record week. And then you say, hey, by the way, whatever her name is, hey, by the way, do you know can you think of like any other OnlyFans models? Do you know any? I'm sure you do, right? And here's the thing, like I literally ask it like that. I'm like, I assume that they know, because obviously they do, like they all know at least one or two clients or models. They say, yeah, I can think of somebody. Like, oh, by the way, just so we're right now on a call, thought I'd mention this. We do actually have a referral incentive. So for every single model that you refer, we'll give you X thing. And it's up to you boys, however you want to do it, right? You can either just pay them a fee, and that fee can be dependent on however much you're making, however much the girl's going to be making, or you give a percentage of the first month or whatever. Now, the reason why it depends is because for us, the models that we're dealing with, like they are genuinely making 100,000 a month themselves, profit a month. So if we told them that would give them $500 per model, they would not give a single fuck. They'd probably laugh at me, right? So for us, we're more than happy to pay a referral fee up to tens of thousands, because if they can get us one client that's already making 70K a month, then that's worth it. Right. So anyway, you ask them there and then on the call, hey, can you think of anybody? Of course you can. You tell them then about the referral incentive, and then be like, by the way, you mentioned that you can think of a few girls already. Whilst we're on the call, just because I know you're super busy, can you just tell me their names right now? I'll just make a quick little note. Who's the first one? And she'll say, okay, cool. You share your screen. Is this the one? You double check. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, cool. Whilst we're on a call right now, could you just drop her a message right now? And then I'll do the rest of it. Just get her to message me on WhatsApp. I'll do the rest of it. So the point being here, boys, is that you get them to do it there and then, like not in a very like pushy way, obviously, but again, she's going to be more than happy to do it anyway because you've already delivered. And yeah, that's when you want to do it, because otherwise, if you just message them, hey, by the way, do you know any girls? Can you message them? They'll say, yeah, I'll do it. Like, no, they're obviously not going to do it. They don't really care. I mean, in some instances they do. Like we have had that, obviously, that does happen sometimes. But in most cases, they will not. So does that make sense, Enzo?
It does, bro. Yeah, a lot of sense. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, all good. That would be way more powerful than just asking them through DMs. Cool. Okay, Lucas, you're next, bro.
Yeah. So is the question what I think I need help with right now in my agency? So at the moment, I've got 3 models, and like I said, I'm in the process of onboarding a chatter. I think what I need to focus on is just getting like more building a chatting team first, so I can find space to like onboard new models and market my models. So I feel like the chatting agency is the first step for me, which I'm building right now. At the moment, my models aren't really getting much like marketed towards their account because I've got my time sort of like in chatting myself. So yeah, that's why I conclude that I need need to build an agency, a chatting agency.
Here's the first piece of advice I'd give, bro. By the way, I'm assuming your models, they somewhat know that. I wouldn't say you're just starting out, but you're in the early stages of the agency.
Yeah, so yeah, they're like midpoint. They don't think I'm like on my own, but
yeah, that's fine.
They don't think I'm majorly experienced.
Yeah, so here's why I asked, by the way. I'll give you the full context, because if you were to like bluff and you were to tell them that, oh yeah, like we've been running for 4 years and we have like, I don't know, like 200 chatters on this stuff, then what I'm about to say would not make sense. But
Yeah.
Based on where you're at, that sounds perfect. So what you want to do is you just want to be straight up and honest with them and say, hey, Everything is going fantastic. Look at the results we've got for you. When you joined us, you were doing this much. And right now we're doing this much. So it's going really well. Like, I'm super happy with the results. I just wanted, and in the meantime, I've been also helping you with the marketing and doing the chatting. Now, here's the thing. We actually are in the middle of expanding our agency simply because of X reason. So you could say, like, knowing that the winter months are coming up, which, by the way, for all of you boys, if you didn't know, obviously the winter months, like, if for example, some of you guys are making 10K, you're going to be making 20K. If you're making 50K, you're going to be making 100K. Just know, like, November, December, January, cash the fuck in. If anybody asks you to go out on a motive or a club, just block them, bro. You're busy, okay? Because this is when you're going to make a lot of money. So anyway, so you can mention, Lucas, you can be like, oh, because we got like the winter coming up, and we've seen last year that ever since like even October, we've seen a huge increase in chatting and in income for all of our clients. We've learned from last year's mistakes, so we're actually getting prepared ahead of time right now, meaning we're upping our chatting team. We're hiring tons of chatters, we're training them, we're onboarding them, etc. Now, the reason why I'm telling you all this, Stacy, whatever her name is because unfortunately I'm gonna put more time and focus into that. Therefore, it's going to be a little bit less time into the marketing. So here's what I need you to do. I've already prepared this and this for you. So all you need to do is just stick to this plan. And just because I'm focusing more on chatting, that will still benefit you massively because of X reason, right? Because we're going to be able to have 24-hour chatting on this and that should theoretically increase your income by X amount and so on. So the lesson that I'm giving you here, bro, is that you just want to give her a heads up. So instead of just you yourself noticing that you're dipping on the marketing side because you've got to build this stuff, if you're noticing it, of course she's noticing it as well, right? So you want to say it first, be like, hey, by the way, here's why this is happening, and you want to position it as a benefit to her, because it is. If she can now have 24-hour chatting on her account, then obviously she's going to make more money. Make sense?
Yeah, I feel like they know I'm in that stage right now of not doing much marketing. I'm like building chatting agency. So I probably wouldn't say the thing about the winter months because they've not got much marketing going on right now. But
Cool.
I could still like let them know that this is the reason why there's not much marketing going into it. Because we're building, like, hiring tons of chatters and training them. So yeah.
And another thing as well, and again, especially if the models are fairly new to OFM as well, or OF, I mean, like, keep them updated with how everything's going with the chatter side of it. The reason why I say if they're fairly new, because if a model's already making 50K a month, she doesn't want to hear about how you're starting to train chatters. She's gonna expect you to have them already, right? That's another thing as well, which could be an interesting topic for another call, is we've definitely noticed how clients act and talk and what they expect at different income brackets. But yeah, that could be for another call. And yeah, so just keep her updated with that, Lucas. But just make sure that she knows what she needs to be doing for the marketing.
Yeah.
So you have like a plan for her, right?
Yeah, well, I haven't got like a written down plan, but I've sort of sent her each one at the start of when I onboarded them what they need to do. For example, 3 TikToks, 3 Reels, call with me twice a week, and Reddit and Twitter content like once a week or whenever I request it. And yeah.
Okay, awesome. And one more thing I'll say to you specifically, Lucas, but this goes to all of you boys. There is absolutely a stage, well, actually not even once, it's like there's unlimited amount of these stages where you feel so fucking overwhelmed, where you're like, I've got so many things going on. I don't know if I don't know how I'm going to do this, right? And Lucas, you're definitely like getting close to that stage. And I'm just giving you a heads up, bro. It's completely normal and it's fine. And what's very, very interesting is you would rather be in that stage than be in a stage where you don't know what to do and nothing's going on, because that's far worse than having so many things going on. Because when you have nothing going on and you don't know what to do, that's when people quit and they're like, fuck, this really ain't working. At least when you're overwhelmed and you've got so many things going on, it is a bit of an uncomfortable feeling. But just remember at the back of your head that it's actually a good thing. It's actually, you'd rather this than the complete opposite. Like, as bad as you might think shit might go wrong, like when it does, inevitably, because it will, bro. I promise you. I don't want it to, but like I'm telling you, for all of you boys, that there will be that one event at some point. Me and Harry have had this like 5 times where we've genuinely thought, this is it. It can't get worse than this. You just overcome it, and you're like, and then you look back at it in 6 months' time, and you're like, was that we thought that was it? Like it's nothing, right? But anyway, Lucas, you're doing honestly fantastic. And I've said this to you before. Every single call I see you on here, you ask so many questions, and I know you're gonna do fantastic, bro. Well done.
Nice one, bro. Thank you.
Easy. Cool. Kieran, you're next on the Zoom screen.
Yeah, so we've just been outreaching for the last kind of 9, 10 weeks. We've never had an issue from like day dot at getting replies. And then we up our outreach numbers to about 700, 800 a week. But then it was just getting to the point of booking meetings. So it's only until this week actually, we've got 2 meetings. Well, one just passed, one tomorrow, and we've only had one in the past 9 weeks. So I think we finally got kind of, I don't want to say the nail down there, but we're getting better at booking the meetings. But then in terms of when it does come to getting that model, I don't really have time to do the chatting. So kind of the worry I'm having is, obviously, if I can't do the chatting, I don't know the chatting. Therefore, I can't teach the chatting. So I guess a question would be like, how can I go about that?
So you have 2 options, bro. It's either if you have a bunch of money, you can wing it and you can try and find somebody who's experienced, aka they have a bunch of experience with chatting for other models, and you can go about doing it that way. Like just yesterday, I had a guy in my DMs. He's from Philippines as well. He's been doing chatting for like 2 years. Found me again. I am in a fortunate position because I have a bunch of YouTube videos. So he found me from YouTube, and he just sent me a fucking ton of results that he's generated. He's done like 9K in one day from his chatting script. So anyway, you can find people who are very, very experienced and talented. You can find them on onlinejobs.ph. You can find them on Facebook groups as well. And you can go about doing it that way if you have a bunch of money. It's definitely risky, however. Yeah, because there is obviously a high chance that they'll fuck it up, and you don't
it's a reputation.
Yeah, correct. So then there's the second option, which is up to you. The second option is you do the outreach until you sign at least one model, and then once you've got the one model, you just take that time instead of doing outreach, you're doing the chatting. Like, yeah, there really isn't 2 ways about it, bro. That's going to be your best bet. And unfortunately, like, by the way, are you currently like employed as well, or this is like
Yeah, I work away. I kind of I'm in Cyprus for 2 months. So
right, okay. So here's what I was gonna say, right? Unfortunately, there just is a phase, and unfortunately, there's nothing else I can tell you or that you can do. And there just is a phase when you are working a 9 to 5 and you're trying to build this business on the side where like you're just not gonna get a lot of sleep. I'm gonna be honest. But then again, what would you rather? Would you rather be like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and it never fucking works? Or just go through the shit phase for just like 1 month? That's literally all you need, bro. I've seen guys do the chatting themselves for just 1 month and generate $15,000. Like simple as that. And they're taking 50%, and that's 7 grand. And that's far more than what they made from their 9 to 5. And they just thought, fuck it. It's a risk, but I'll just go all in. Right. Now, but for context, my advice is to have at least 3 months of your break even in your bank. So let's just say your break even, aka how much money do you spend per month in order to survive, is 1,000 for just easier numbers. You must have at least £3,000 in your account, at least, to make that commitment and quit and go all in. Which, by the way, was mine. Mine was like 1.1 and 1.2 thousand a month, which includes like your car payments, your rent, your food, even the haircut, all of this stuff. But anyway, brother, yeah. So, and unfortunately, like I wish I could give you like this magical thing, but there's just this part where it sucks, bro. It just fucking sucks because you're not getting a bunch of sleep. You're working your absolute fucking ass off, but it is worth it. I promise you, it is worth it. And that is the hardest part, bro, because not only are you physically tired and you're physically drained, right? It's also super scary because it's like when you have that 9 to 5, we all are psyoped, if you want to say, into believing that it's safe. I mean, look what happened at COVID, right? During a pandemic. there was fucking hundreds of thousands of people just getting laid off like that. Now, I'm not saying that will happen like tomorrow or next week, but this just proves a point that a 9 to 5 isn't actually all that safe. And I can go on and on and on into so many caveats. Like obviously, if you have a kid and you have a family, or you have a mortgage, or you look after somebody, then obviously you need to take that into account. And I'm not telling you to just quit your job right now and just go all in. But for me, when I done it, bro, like I was living in a house share. I was paying like £400 a month for rent for like a little fucking room. I had I had a bunch of little expenses, but it all amounted to like 1,000 a month roughly. And I saved up like £3,000, and I just thought, fuck it, let me just go for it. And it worked. It literally just worked because yeah, when there's no plan B, you just go all in.
Yeah, so off the back of that then, what would you say is the best way to kind of to learn the chatting side of things? Obviously, doing it's one way, but again, I don't really want to fuck up right away.
Yeah, I mean, so first things first, obviously going through the course, that's going to be your foundations, right?
Yeah.
Have you done that already? Watched
Yeah,
through
yeah,
that?
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go through it again, like, section by section when I need it, but yeah, it was just in case there was anything kind of extra.
Sure. So that'll be your foundations. And then from then on, bro, it really is just like human, like male psychology. Like it is as simple as like thinking about how to get somebody from a state of not interested to they've just spent like $400 on an OnlyFans account, you know?
Yeah.
The way you do that is by just incremental giving them what they want, but not exactly everything.
Yeah,
Like
so they're still wanting to buy the next thing.
it's simple as that, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. And you said it yourself as well, bro. It's like if you hire somebody from the get-go and you've never done it before, yeah, they might do a good job, but you don't know. And if they
Yeah.
don't, you don't know how to improve it, bro.
Yeah. Well, that was, like I said, was kind of the issue I was having. Just trying to kind
Yeah.
of think ahead, because hopefully, like I said, this model will sign tomorrow and take it from there.
And there is no better way at improving anything in life than just doing it. Like
Yeah, 100%.
you can read books about how to shoot a basketball into a hoop for fucking 10 years, but until you pick up the ball, like you're not actually gonna get better,
Yeah.
So
Just like uni.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. Cool,
Right,
man.
nice
But
one.
all the best to you, brother. I look forward to speaking to you very soon as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
All good. By the way, Rollins, I know I spoke to you, bro, but one thing that's been like on my mind, yeah, can you hear me, by the way, Rollins? Yeah, I think you're just shutting the door. So one thing that's been on my mind, bro, you mentioned that you have a few clients who are doing pretty well, but you've taken on this one who's just sounds like she's starting out. Is that right? Is she starting out on OnlyFans, or she's already experienced?
She is already experienced.
Okay. So she was already making quite a lot of money on OnlyFans.
600 last month.
Okay. So then that poses me the question of why bother? And yeah, I just want to know, why do you want to work with this model?
Because I outreached her successfully.
And she said, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
reason.
the
Because
reason why, yeah, go on.
because I wanted to take on another creator right
Mhm.
now. Yeah, that's all.
Okay. So the reason why I wanted to come back to you, by the way, and this is again an important lesson to all of you guys, you can, by all means, brother, you absolutely can. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, by the sounds of it, you sound like you're experienced and you're going to be able to scale her to at least a couple of thousand, if not tens of thousands. However, by the sounds of where you're at right now and the experience and the results that you have with the other clients, you will most likely make more money and it will be easier, less effort, faster to scale. To instead of taking on this client and scaling her her Instagram and TikTok from zero, instead of wasting your time and doing all of that, if you would just carry on doing outreach and you sign a model who's already perhaps making 2,000 a month and she already has an Instagram and a TikTok, it would be far easier and quicker for you to scale that. So just like wanted to drop that by, but if there is like a good reason on why you want to work with her, or you feel like you have the time and you don't see any loss on it, then why not, bro? Absolutely go for it. But just wanted to give you guys that clarity there, because again, I think a lot of people, they fixate on the micro, not the macro. And the micro being, okay, got this one model, she's only making this much, but you know, how can I help this client get to 100,000 a month? When that's a far bigger task than doing outreach to one that's maybe making 5K, getting her to 15K, and then simply going up the ladder that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these to think about, but cool. Andre, go ahead, bro.
Hey Marcus. Like I mentioned before, I had two calls with my past models, and one she wasn't interested in, the other one I'm just gonna shoot her OFTV videos.
Mhm.
But I I didn't like I'm trying to build a relationship with her because she's a pretty big fish and she's really well connected. So like she could like I want to become like close with her in terms of like having like a professional relationship with her. Like to have like monthly like shoot her monthly OF TV videos, but haven't signed my first model like a girl onto my agency yet. Still working on that. Still doing outreach. It's been like what like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But yeah.
Mhm.
I'm still pushing, but I have a few responses, but like nothing like oh, okay, let's jump on a call as of right now. But
How many messages are you sending per day?
approximately I say like about 50.
Okay. That's not bad, but try and up that to 100, bro. So
Okay.
you and that counts if you do 50 on Instagram, 50 on Twitter, for example, right? That still counts.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
I only do IG because I haven't tried Twitter.
oh, that's fine. Twitter works, by the way, guys, for outreach. We've just recently started doing it, but to test it, and already it's working. Let me see if there's any messages right now that are unread. I can show you.
But through your personal, through the like your agency.
From my personal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kieran said also the Twitter works really well for him. So yeah, so test out Twitter as well.
Got that.
But big key here is 100 a day. So first things first, try that out. Second thing is what do you say in the message? What is your first message, bro?
So I've tried different things. Usually I would like find them like I would find them on OF TV and just like say like I found you on OF TV and like your video was cool, something like that. Um and then the second thing I would do is like just I have a script that I made. It's basically like it's like a paragraph kind of. And I got my first response to that paragraph, luckily, and I've had like one response to the OFTV part, but
Mhm.
um, she just said what do I mean by full service, and I basically explained everything. And if you're interested, we can set up a call. Like that's all I said.
So instead of going through like your personal message, right? I'll just tell you like a little bit about how we do it and like the overall idea on how we do it, right? So I've said this on the last Thursday's group coaching call, which was every single point you have a different goal. So what do I mean by that? So your first message, your
Mm.
goal there is not to get them to sign on to your agency. Um, your second message and your third message is also not to get them to sign on to your agency. The time to get them, your goal to get them to sign on to your agency is once they're on a Zoom call with you, right? The goal of the first ever message is just to get them to reply. It's an interesting mindset
Yeah,
shift.
I haven't worked that way. I would just work straight into, hey, you want to like join my agency? That's probably where I'm fucking up. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. So and it's a very interesting switch when you change the goal of when you're doing something, right? So your first ever message, your only goal is just to get them to reply at least once. That's it. Because once they reply, because Instagram has done like a update recently, which is quite fucking annoying. I mean, it makes sense, but the update is where you can only message somebody once and then that's it. You can't message them until they respond, right? And unless they manually go into the settings and turn it off, which nobody does, including me, like I even haven't done that, then it's going to be like that for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So, so if we know that, then if we send them a big paragraph, yeah, they're just not going to read the whole thing, and it's not quite the same. What you say in the paragraph is probably spot on and amazing. However, you want to say that in a conversational basis. Like you want them to reply, then you say the first bit of the paragraph, then you say this and this back and forth. So no, the point of the first message, bro, is just again to respond.